JP Morgan Chase isn't lying. If you're planning big travel or major spending after New Year's 2026, do you know why people get blindsided by every financial crisis? It's because they think it happens overnight. They think you go to sleep safe and wake up in a collapse. That is never how it works. Every single crisis gives you a warning. Specifically, there are 3 pieces of hard evidence that show up 1 to 2 years in advance. These aren't state secrets locked in the Oval Office. You can see them on your TV, your phone, and the news every single day. The problem isn't visibility, it's blindness. Most people ignore the data, or worse, someone is making sure you don't interpret it correctly. They want you to believe this time is different. Think of it like Russian roulette. The gun has 6 chambers and 1 bullet. The first 3 people pull the trigger, click, nothing happens. They even get rewarded for surviving. Now it's your turn. You're the 4th person. Do you think, hey, the first 3 were fine, so this gun must be empty? Of course not. If you know there's a bullet in there, the odds didn't just get better for you. They got fully lethal. The fact that the first 3 survived doesn't mean you resafe it, means you should quit the game immediately. History tells us that when these 3 specific signals appear, financial collapse follows 1 to 2 years later, without fail. And guess what? We are already a year into that countdown. If you think the instability we saw in 2024 and 2025, the layoffs, the bank wobbles was the main event, you are mistaken. The real crash hasn't hit yet. Hello everyone, welcome to Stewardship Finance Academy. Let me ask you a simple question. If you lend me money today, would you charge me the same interest for a 1-day loan versus a 10-year loan? Impossible, right? Any sane person knows that lending money for 10 years is riskier. In 1 day, I'm probably not going to go bankrupt. But in 10 years, anything can happen. I could lose my business. I could turn into a deadbeat. Because your money is frozen for a decade, you demand higher compensation, higher interest. This is a fundamental law of finance. Long-term interest rates must be higher than short-term rates. But here's the smoking gun. Historically, before every US economic collapse, this rule breaks. Short-term rates become higher than long-term rates. It's called an inverted yield curve. This chart shows that every major recession, from the Great Depression to the dot-com bubble and the 2008 crash, was preceded by this inversion. Look at this chart. We tracked it back to the Great Depression. Every time the curve inverts, a crash follows. And recently, we saw an inversion that lasted from late 2022 through January 2025, breaking historical records for duration. Now you might say, but the inversion ended in early 2025. It's January 2026 now, and the world hasn't ended. Is this time different? Look at the last column of our chart. It's called lag time. A crisis never happens the moment the curve inverts. The collapse typically strikes 9 months to 2 years at 2 years as the inversion ends. The fact that the curve normalized in 2025 doesn't mean we're safe. It proves the clock has started. We are walking through the minefield right now. It was just the first piece of evidence. I told you there are 3. The last one is so valuable it's worth a Manhattan penthouse. If you want to survive this SIF, you want to be one of the few who actually builds wealth during a crash, subscribe to this channel. I'm sharing this because I want you to be prepared, not a victim. Now, why is there a lag? Why does it take time? It's about how banks survive. Banks follow a simple model. Borrow short, lend long. They take your checking deposits short-term and pay you almost nothing, then lend that money out for 30-year mortgages long-term at 5% or 6%. The difference is their profit. But when the yield curve inverts, the math breaks. The bank has to pay you 5% for your deposit, but can only charge 4% on the mortgage. They lose money on every single deal. So what do? They turn off the tap. This is called credit tightening. The impact is real and painful. Right now, average Americans are paying 21% interest on credit cards. Those trying to buy a home are facing mortgage rates over 7%. Suddenly, ordinary people can't get loans. Small businesses can't get working capital. It doesn't destroy the economy overnight because people have savings. But give it a year, companies run out of cash. Then come the layoffs. Then come the defaults. It's a slow strangulation, not a sudden heart attack. This brings us to evidence number 2, the SAM rule. The SAM rule is a recession indicator used by the Federal Reserve. Simply put, if the unemployment rate rises 0.5% above its recent low, we are in a recession. Looking at the chart, the blue line unemployment is creeping toward the danger zone. Now, I know some of you sharp viewers will point out, didn't the SAM rule technically trigger back in July-August 2024? And the world didn't end? You were absolutely right. It did trigger. And the market dropped 10% almost immediately. But the Federal Reserve stepped in with emergency rate cuts to suppress it. At the time, they dismissed it as an anomaly. They blamed it on the post-pandemic labor market and a surge in immigration that skewed the unemployment numbers. They said, don't worry, it's just a data glitch. But that excuse doesn't work anymore. The pandemic is long over. The labor market has normalized. If the SAM rule triggers now, it's not a glitch, it's the real deal. But wait, the government says it hasn't triggered yet. They claim unemployment in late 2025 was around 4.6%. Here's the trick. Do you remember October 2025? The US government shut down because of the shutdown. Accurate data for October vanished. We know a couple of things happened back in October. First, non-farm payrolls dropped by over 100,000. That's the biggest drop since the Silicon Valley Bank crash. Second, government layoffs suddenly spiked. Now, Wall Street analysts are estimating that the real unemployment rate for October was actually much higher than what was reported. If you plug in those real numbers, the SAM rule, which predicts recessions, has likely already been triggered. The recession is here. The official data is just lagging behind what's really happening on the ground. I know some of you might be skeptical. You're thinking, if things are so bad, why is the stock market still holding up? That's a great question, and it brings me to my third and final piece of evidence, and this one is the big one. We need to follow the smart money. Let's look at JP Chase. Since the start of 2024, they have been quietly draining their cash accounts at the Federal Reserve. They took their deposits from $409 billion all the way down to just $63 billion. That is a massive move. It's like an aircraft carrier dumping all its emergency fuel. So where did all that money go? They're buying long-term US Treasury bonds. Now, why does this matter? Simple. Bond prices move in the opposite direction of interest rates. If you're buying long-term bonds, you are making a huge bet that interest rates are going to crash. And when do interest rates crash down to zero? Only when the economy completely collapses. But there's an even darker historical parallel here. Think back to 2019, right before the pandemic. The market was hitting all-time highs. But behind the scenes, the repo market, the essential plumbing of our financial system, broke. The overnight interest rates between banks skyrocketed to 10%. It was a massive liquidity crisis. Later investigations revealed that JP Morgan had pulled $158 billion out of the Fed right before this happened, basically draining the system of cash. This forced the Federal Reserve to panic, slash rates, and print money like crazy just to stop a total collapse. Well, it's happening again. JP Morgan is draining liquidity right now, moving hundreds of billions out of the Fed. It looks like they are creating the very crisis they are betting on. They are positioning themselves for a disaster that forces the Fed to slash interest rates to zero. They are betting on a collapse, and they are not alone. Just look at Warren Buffett. He's been selling off huge chunks of his stock portfolio, including Apple and Bank of America, and moving all that cash into short-term treasuries. So you have one billionaire betting on a crash so he can buy at the bottom, and the biggest bank in the country betting on a rate collapse. Both of them are screaming danger with their actions, even if they aren't saying a word about it in interviews. Let's do the math. There is a 50% chance the crisis has already started and is just being covered up by bad data. And there's a 50% chance the Fed is trying to prevent it, but as history shows us, prevention usually fails. When you add it all up, the probability of a major economic event happening in 2026 is screamingly high, over 75%. You can ignore this. You can call it fear-mongering. It's fine. But I look at what the giants are doing, not what they're saying. So what's my strategy? I'm doing what I always do, positioning into safe haven assets like gold and silver, which have already seen massive gains while the world ignores these warning signs. If you want to know exactly how to navigate this, how to set up your portfolio to not just survive but actually thrive when the market turns, I have something for you. Check out our free stock investment masterclass. In this masterclass, we break down the exact strategy we are using right now. It's not about complex day trading. It's about smart positioning. Click the link in the description to join the free stock investment masterclass. Don't wait until the news confirms the crisis. By then, it's too late. Spots are limited, so make sure you secure yours now. Stay sharp and watch the data, not the headlines. I'll see you in the next video.